Good morning. Don Keith on the Diary of a Psychotic podcast. This podcast is brought to you by Granger Supply, the ones who get it done. Well, it looks like we won't be receiving a brand new 747 from the nation of Qatar. I guess everybody in Congress has figured out that, wait a second, we're violating the fourth article of the Constitution. If we allow President Trump to receive this plane as a gift, he's not allowed. Okay? The fourth article of the Constitution states clearly that immolets, in other words, gifts and bribes, and, did I say bribes? I didn't really mean to say bribes, but that's what it is. All right, the nation of Qatar wants back in the good graces of Donald Trump. Not the President of the United States, Donald Trump. Okay? Remember now that he got elected as president, but he's not acting like the president. So our president is actually J.D. Vance, who's just kind of waiting in the wings for Donald Trump to really screw up really bad. I mean, wow. And then J.D. Vance is going to be president. Okay, switching over to another topic. I hope you're not too upset. Okay, the other topic is the coming peace talks between Zelensky and Putin. Now, Zelensky has arrived in Turkey, and they're awaiting the arrival of President Putin. And they asked him, Zelensky, if he thought that no ceasefire, a 30-day ceasefire, was if there wasn't one, constitutes a failure of peace talk. He said, Zelensky said, first of all, he has to show up. If he doesn't show up, it's going to demonstrate completely that Russia is not interested in diplomacy as of yet. He says, so we'll keep fighting. That's it. He says, that's all it means. He says, there have been new nations lured into fighting on the side of Russia. India. Indian citizens have been cited on the front lines fighting for Russia. Wow, that's like bizarre, beyond words. Okay, the Menendez brothers resentenced to 50 years to life. No possibility of parole. Okay. Everybody saw that coming, you know. That was a big waste of time. All right. Big deflection off of what's really wrong. Okay. ICE still capturing people and deporting them. Can't see any other way to get around that. The Trump administration's got a lot to answer for now at this point. At this point, Nixon resigned. Okay? When he'd done this much wrong, Nixon saw the writing on the wall and he resigned. That's because Nixon was a smart man. He was an intelligence officer for the Navy. I can relate to that somehow. Anyway, give a couple shout outs here. My brother Billy, my sister-in-law Joanne. Billy, Joanne, happy anniversary. This is their third anniversary. Let's see, my sister Linda, who I shouted at the other day on Mother's Day. I'm sorry, sweetie. But you got under my skin with the biggest thing that makes me angry in my life. Okay, the Social Security Department and what they've done to my son. Anyway, that's all getting addressed. Let's see, lovely little Lulu. Okay, and her friend Kimmy. Okay, and a shout out to somebody yesterday who impersonated someone else. And they said, "You're not Don Keith." I'm like, what? Well, anyway, this has been Don Keith with the Diary of Psychotic podcast, brought to you by Granger Supply, the ones who get it done.